Hello, my name is Aaron Wallace, and I'm Chief Information Officer at Synapse Consulting, where we remind you what's important. I just want to take the time to thank you guys for meeting with us today. I know you guys are one of the most vital organizations on campus. I want to thank you for that. And I know when I was a student at University of West Georgia, and I used to commute my sophomore to senior year, I know it can be difficult to get on and off of campus. But with Synapse Consulting, I know we can improve upon this problem. But I know you guys doing a lot of things well, and we're gonna talk about what you guys are doing well, what you guys are doing wrong, and how you just improve upon the organization. In this presentation, we're gonna talk about our company background. We're gonna talk about the statement of need. We're gonna be talking about communications, external and internal communications, and then we're gonna talk about recommendations, how we can help your company grow. And then I'm just gonna close this thing out. Presenting with me today is Courtney Johnson, who is our president. She's a part of she's the head of communications and doing a great job with this company. We have Samuel Jones, who's doing great with our IT team and a very big part of our expansions. And just and those two are great coworkers, and I'm very lucky to be working with them. Because that here at Synapse, we have a family. We even have a company softball team. Every day I come to work, I'm happy. So I know working with us is only a great opportunity for you guys. And I'm gonna close this out, and I'm gonna give this to Courtney Johnson, where she's gonna be talking about the company background. Thank you for meeting again. Thank you for meeting with us.
I'm now going to discuss the background of our consulting firm. Here at Synapse, we specialize in positive results in communication for companies. We are just two roommates that started the firm, and we started with small local companies in our hometown, but we quickly grew, and now we do consulting for Coca-Cola and even Apple. I'm first going to discuss our company values. Here at Synapse, communication is key always. We focus on communicating through disagreements, through everyday communication, and also just open communication and open doors at all times allows for a positive and uplifting environment for our employees and our clients. We have a few communication policies that we strive to live by and to focus on every day. First of all, we communicate with our clients on a daily basis. We have a 24-hour turnaround time through any type of communicating that we do. We promise to get back to you on any edit or question or concern or just basic information that you want within 24 hours. We communicate with our clients and with our employees through phone, email, and also our software, which is what we are most proud of. We have a communication software that our IT specialist, Samuel, came up with. This software allows our clients to see what is going on with their file on every day. It sends clients a report every day letting them know, what we did that day with their file and also what has been done and how successful they are. This software allows our clients to add ideas, ask questions, or even make edits to things that have been worked on that day. We are really proud of this software and has really helped us grow and become a very successful consulting firm. So now that you have been introduced to our consulting team and taken a look at the background and values of Synapse, I will turn it over to Samuel, who will discuss with you the statement of need.
So the current issue is that right over here on the South Street lot, there's a lot of commuters who will come in and presumably because they're not aware of parking behind the library, they will overpark in that lot. It's a very small lot, doesn't have a lot of space, and they will start to park, outside of the lines, in reserved spots, things like that. These are some pretty bad parking practices. They put people at risk sometimes when you fill it up too much, when they're not inside the marked lines. It ends up making very, very tight squeezes for people just to get out, which risks damage to vehicles and potentially even pedestrians just walking through the lot or people walking to get their vehicle. And I actually spoke to a parking services employee a couple months ago who talked to me about it and said that they were warning people, not to park there because they could end up towing their vehicle away. That could be financial, damages to the student. You really don't want that to happen. That's not a good situation. We know the parking services. We know you don't want to have to do that anyways. Now, currently, West Georgia does not actually charge the way that some of the larger schools, such as the University of Georgia, do. They don't. At UGA, the way they charge is you have to buy a permit for one location. It's one little lot that you can park in using that pass, and they're very, very expensive. And many times they don't even guarantee that you'll have a parking spot. Sometimes they'll let other people from out of town park, so it's not exactly the best system at that school. However, similar to other campuses like that, it seems like a lack of informed students seems to be causing the issues for their parking. In an article in 2013 from the Red and Black, which is the student-led newspaper at the University of Georgia, their parking services said that they were getting a negative reputation due to uninformed students. They were complaining that students thought they were nickel and diming them. They were intentionally, doing bad practices, just trying to get money out of people so they could ticket them. And they argued that the reason why was students just weren't informed enough about it. They didn't realize that parking services wanted to work with them. They wanted to make things better, but they just didn't. Students weren't aware that they could actually call in and say, "Hey, I'm gonna park here. I'll give you my vehicle model and make and things like that." So while it is a different system there, it's much more complex. West Georgia is a little more laid back. You just have to have your pass. You can go to any of the lots for it as long as there's space. It's much smaller as well. It's still the same underlying issue here, that communication and information, properly communicating that information to the students, is the big problem that both of these fine institutions face. And with that, we're going to go to Aaron so that we can learn more about how this communication plays a role and how to make it better.
Hello again. I'll talk to Mr. Wade Crenshaw to learn about your communication and how it's done within an organization. I learned that within the organization, you guys mostly do it through emails, and I see that face to face is most important to you guys, and it's harder for you guys to talk. It's harder for you guys to communicate through email because of restrictions that the school has on you guys emailing students. And I see that the park service only uses emails to get across special messages, and each point's emails is available to the students when you guys need to be contacted. Next is the SWOT analysis, and SWOT stands for strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Your strength is that you guys are mostly funded by the students and not funded by the state, which is very rare in the state of Georgia. Your weakness is parking spaces. Your opportunities is the new bus tracking systems and some new parking decks. And the threats are students driving their cars instead of taking the bus. Next, we'll talk about UWG stacks up to other schools when it comes to accessibility and how students are able to access your websites. So I did some research and looked on a couple of websites of other campuses and see how easy it was for students to access their websites and get information. And from what I see, on a scale from 0 to 6 when it comes to accessibility, UWG got a 4.2, which is good, but you could be doing better, because KSU got a 4.5. But we're doing it better than Georgia State. We're only at a 3. I know if you work with us, we can improve upon this and make it better.
Now, for ways to solve these issues, we have a few recommendations. First off, we believe that adding a sign next to the South Street lot could go a long ways towards helping the problem. especially for new commuters, people who just started going to the school. Maybe they're not that familiar with campus. They don't remember their map too well and don't have their parking map with them. Having a simple sign, just saying overflow parking, overflow commuting parking, go behind the library. I think this would help a lot. It would help. It's right at the source, right when people see it. If they're not sure where to park, they can go there. Otherwise, I think what happens is a lot of times they don't want to park in the wrong lot. They don't want to park in a lot that they know is wrong. So they think that parking outside the lines is the lesser of two evils. So as long as you just go ahead and tell them where to go, I think that would alleviate a lot of the stress on this. It would also help to put some clear instructions on the website, the parking services website, about your overflow parking. Maybe even have a dedicated page for commuting, just a commuting parking or something like that. A little page up on the side you could go to and just have some tips like that. Like, hey, we've had an issue with this. We've had an issue with people parking here. We will tow you. We'll be forced to. We can't have unsafe practices, but just go behind the library and explain the benefits of it. If you have a dedicated spot like this on the website, it would be much faster than people having to go up and look it up on the map, and it would be very explicit. It would stand out more in their mind that, hey, I need to go behind the parking, or need to go behind the library if this is full. We also think that conducting a survey of students, taking a poll of them and seeing if they have any issues or complaints, it would help to see where maybe you have some shortcomings with getting your message out. What are they aware of? What are they not aware of? And also having a clearly defined suggestions area for parking services. I was unable to find one on the website. There might be, but I was not aware of it. I think that having a clearly defined one, maybe a nice little button in the top right of the website would help a lot. It could go to maybe like a shared email among parking services employees. That way, if people maybe don't prefer the face-to-face, we saw earlier that's not really something that happens very commonly for parking services. It's mostly just the beginning of the year when they get their passes. They could just go ahead and do a simple email. That way, if they have a problem or something like that, they go ahead, get it out of the way, and it's very simple for both sides to respond to email. They can do it on their own time, very simple. And I think especially the last two, these are important because they have a lot of student involvement. When you go out and try to get people involved, it kind of gives them a sense of responsibility. It reminds them that this is their campus too. It's their responsibility to take care of things. And I think that helps a lot. It helps a lot to keep things in people's minds, and that'll help to keep us all safer. And now, to see a recap of everything we've gone over today, I'm going to hand it over to Courtney.
In conclusion, we want to thank you for giving us this time to speak to your organization. We hope that our presentation proved that we are capable of helping with the parking issues at the University of West Georgia and making it a more easily accessible university. Through our communication software, our SWOT analysis, and our recommendations, we've given you an idea of how successful the parking services can be. Remember, we are the connection between business and consumer, and we want to be the unseen hand that brings you two together. Thank you. Will there be any questions?